Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into the core strategies behind precision and profit. Now, if you manage physical products, you already know the deal. Inventory is the absolute lifeblood of your operation, right? But it's also probably the source of your biggest headaches. Well, today we're getting into exactly how modern inventory systems prevent those incredibly costly stock issues. We're talking about those massive pain points, like stockouts and overstocking, that are quietly, day by day, draining your resources. We're going to break down how these modern strategies completely transform your inventory from this chaotic, stressful guessing game into a highly precise, profit-driving machine. Let's get into it.
Oof. Have you ever had to look a customer in the eye? Or, send that dreaded automated email saying your absolute best-selling item is out of stock? It's just a terrible feeling. You did all the hard work, you nailed the marketing, you got the customer right to the finish line, and then, boom, empty shelves. It's a massive missed opportunity. If you're tired of losing money to bad inventory management and you want to see exactly how to fix it once and for all, smash that like button, subscribe, and let's figure this out together. All right, let's fix that stockout problem.
Okay, let's dive into this with Section 1, the hidden profit killers. Let's take a look at the silent barriers to your growth. It's wild how many businesses wildly underestimate how fast a tiny inventory issue can snowball into a total operational roadblock. What starts as a simple miscount or maybe a slightly delayed shipment from a supplier quickly turns into a massive, costly disruption. But these disruptions are completely avoidable. We just need to understand our two main villains here. On the left, we've got the tragedy of the stockout. That's running out of your bestsellers and quite literally turning away cold, hard cash. And on the right, the exact opposite extreme, overstocking. It's kind of like a dragon hoarding treasure in a cave, except in this case, the treasure is rapidly depreciating in value and it's costing you a fortune in warehouse rent. Both of these extremes absolutely destroy your profitability. And the crazy thing is, they're both symptoms of the exact same disease, a total lack of real-time visibility. Moving right along to Section 2, preventing costly stockouts. So when a business runs out of stock, why does it happen? Usually it boils down to two incredibly outdated practices: poor visibility and reactive blind ordering. I mean, think about it. If you're only ordering more product when you physically walk by and notice the shelf is empty, you're way too late. You're just reacting to a fire instead of preventing it. The fix here? Automated reorder alerts. These modern inventory systems are constantly tracking your stock levels behind the scenes. They basically act as your 24/7 digital watchdog, pinging you with notifications to reorder way before you actually hit zero. And that is a real game changer because it lets you effortlessly manage the unexpected. Sudden spike in customer demand, frustrating supplier delay, global shipping nonsense. These alerts give you the exact lead time you need to keep those bestsellers right where they belong, in stock and ready to ship. All right, Section 3, stopping overstock financial damage. Now, having too much stuff might feel a little safer than a stock out. After all, hey, at least you have the product, right? But make no mistake, overstocking causes very real, very severe financial damage. All that excess inventory is just liquid cash tied up in boxes. It's taking up valuable storage space that you're paying for every single month. And eventually, you're forced into massive markdowns just to clear it out, which completely wrecks your profit margins. So the crucial point is implementing just-in-time, or JIT replenishment. Essentially, this is the strategy of ordering goods only exactly when they're needed. By perfectly syncing up your incoming shipments with your outgoing sales, you drastically reduce your storage costs. You stop that excess stock from just sitting idle and eating your capital. Powered by modern systems, JIT becomes this highly calculated, super dependable strategy that entirely neutralizes the overstock threat. But hold on, how do you know exactly when those goods will be needed? Well, that brings us to demand forecasting. Modern systems build an ironclad defense against bad purchasing decisions. How? By crunching historical data, analyzing seasonal trends, and evaluating broader market signals. But honestly, the most important thing it does? It prevents you from ordering based on gut instinct. Standing in an empty warehouse, rubbing your chin, and relying on a hunch, that is not a business strategy, folks. That's just gambling. When you have a system that handles all this complex analysis automatically, you can set your reorder points based on hard, undeniable data. No more guessing. Let's move into Section 4, the power of real-time tracking. Let's talk about the actual tactical tools on the ground. Now, having all these great strategies is awesome, but let's be real for a second. If you're still out there manually counting boxes with a clipboard and a pen, you're leaving way too much room for costly mistakes.
You become incredibly vulnerable to inventory discrepancies. You know the ones, those super frustrating gaps between what your computer thinks you have and what's actually sitting on the shelf. These discrepancies are just a constant headache, and it's almost always because of human error. We're talking miscounts, mislabeled products, maybe somebody missed a receiving entry at the loading dock, or unlogged shrinkage like theft. Here's the harsh truth. If your baseline data is wrong, your fancy automated alerts and your demand forecasting, yeah, they're going to be completely wrong too.
So to actually fix this at the root, you need RFID and barcode scanning. By bringing these tools into the mix, you literally eliminate manual counting errors. Every single item that enters or leaves a location gets automatically recorded. Instantly, you know exactly what's in stock, what's running low, and what's just sitting there gathering dust. And when you pair that with robust asset tracking systems, you can monitor a product's movement from the second it hits your receiving dock to the exact moment it's dropped off at the customer's door. Absolute precision. And that right there is what makes that just-in-time replenishment strategy we talked about earlier actually work in the real world. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly the shift we've been talking about. We are taking those outdated, clunky manual habits and we are replacing them with sleek, modern, automated solutions. Reactive ordering and last-minute panic replaced by automated reorder alerts. Guesswork and gut instinct completely replaced by precise, data-driven demand forecasting. And that dreaded manual inventory count banished forever, replaced by RFID and barcode scanning. It really is a complete, top-to-bottom upgrade to how you handle your physical assets. All right, finally, Section 5, Getting Started Made Easy.
Okay, I know what you might be thinking. Upgrading my whole system sounds like a massive, incredibly expensive nightmare. But actually, scratch that. Transitioning to a modern inventory system does not mean you have to do a complete tear-it-down operational overhaul on day one. Today's systems are incredibly scalable. So here is a super simple, actionable plan you can start using today. Step 1, just identify where your current inventory process is actually breaking down. Are you constantly running out of one specific SKU? Are your warehouse workers wasting hours just wandering around looking for misplaced boxes? Pinpoint that exact pain point. Then, step 2, implement the core features to solve those specific problems first. Maybe you just start with automated alerts for your top 3 sellers, or introduce a simple barcode scanner at your receiving dock. Just solve the bleeding neck problem first, get some measurable wins, and then naturally scale up from there. It's really that approachable.
There's a line from our source material that really hits the nail on the head. Efficient inventory management directly impacts financial stability. Honestly, if you take nothing else away from today's explainer, let it be that. Modern inventory systems do so much more than just tell you where a cardboard box is sitting. A properly balanced stock is a shield that protects your entire business. It means you aren't tying up your precious capital in dusty, unused products, and you aren't bleeding revenue from completely preventable shortages. Whether you want to stop stockouts, slash your excess stock, or just stop miscounting things, the right tech absolutely makes it a reality. So I'm going to leave you with a final provocative thought. I want you to ask yourself honestly, is your current inventory acting as a highly scalable asset, or is it secretly a really costly liability? If you're still relying on gut instinct and manual accounting, well, it just might be time to rethink your strategy and start aggressively protecting your profits. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, stay curious, and I'll catch you in the next one.